Thank you very much.
السلام عليكم مراد. كيف حالك؟
Absolutely, yeah. So basically, fine
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اليوم افتتاح مسجد إكستر بمقاطعة ديفن جنوب غرب بريطانيا، تاريخ 26 أكتوبر 2011. يقوم بافتتاح المسجد إن شاء الله الدكتور إقبال أوغلو على ما أعتقد.
Media. Media.
بسم الله
على بركة الله. Somebody goes count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحان الله ربنا. الله أكبر.
والله يا شيخ مشغول، كانت صحته شوية.
السلام عليكم دكتور.
هذه السنة مرض كثير يعني. ما يدخل مكتب. البيت يعني ساعة على جاته. Please, Your Excellency.
This is a donation of His Highness Sultan Muhammad Qasim Dula Shah. He has been to different accidents. He's a student, but he made very precious. When we asked him to do
هذا عبد اللطيف الفاضلي الكويتي جارنا وحبيبنا من رواد المسجد. طبعا الشيخ فوزي الرياني الدكتور إن شاء الله من رواد المسجد. No, it's all right. Because you have to go back. Okay, yeah. It's easier.
Now you can do my job. I leave it to you. I was the president of the society, vice president. I didn't study because and since then he's the one I have taken the torch and built it up. It was let's see. Oh yes.
It's been a long journey. So it has been a very long journey.
I've seen the other page. This is wow. It's just so lovely. That's right. Well, you've done well to raise money.
محمد السلام عليكم. محمد وكلمة الافتتاح والتاريخ والتوثيق.
الله يبارك فيك. الله يبارك. هل هذا يلتقي الصوت ولا ما يلتقي الصوت؟
هذا فيديو. نعم. توكل على الله.
فعندما تلقى الكلمات
نعم
ينبغي أن تقف بحيث تلتقي الصورة وأيضا تلتقط الصوت يعني.
إن شاء الله فيديو.
وإن شاء الله في بطارية قوية يعني.
فيه شحن إن شاء الله. بس نبغى تو تعرفنا بس تاريخ اليوم
اليوم 26 من أكتوبر، واليوم إن شاء الله يوم الافتتاح الرسمي للمسجد. جزاك الله خير. 28 من شهر ذي القعدة عام 1432 من الهجرة.
شكرا جزيلا.
هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. He is Allah, besides whom there is no God, the sovereign, the holy one, the one free from all defects, the giver of peace, the guardian, the almighty, the compeller, the supreme. Pure is Allah from what they associate with Him. He is Allah, the creator, the inventor, the bestower of forms. His are the most beautiful names. All that is in the heavens and the earth glorify Him. And He is the Almighty, the All-Wise. Sadaq Allahu al-Azim. Verily Allah has spoken the truth.
Into putting your mouth, so that you can see the blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I would like to welcome Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Rahman Saeed, who is a trustee, and he is going to give you the dua commentary.
Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Professor Jamal Abdulaifi, the representative of His Highness Sheikh Sultan Muhammad Al-Qasimi, the member of the Supreme Council, United Arab Emirates, and the ruler of Sharqa, His Excellency Professor Ikmaluddin Ihsanulko, the General Secretary of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation, Lord Mayor of Exeter, Chief Constable of Dublin and Cornwall Police Force, distinguished guests, ladies, friends, and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace, may peace and blessings of God be upon you all. It is a great honor for me to stand before you this afternoon to express our great pleasure and happiness to welcome all of you this afternoon in this ceremony opening Exeter Mosque and Cultural Center. And when we changed the name from the Islamic Center of the Southwest to Exeter Mosque and Cultural Center, the purpose of that is not only a place of worship, but also a place for culture, for social activities, for people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different religions and faith traditions to meet and to develop friendship and peace and love in this beautiful, beautiful and peaceful city of Exeter. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by mentioning the pioneers and the founding members of the Islamic Center. And I will leave most of the details to His Excellency Ikmaluddin, Professor Ikmaluddin, because he was here in the 70s. The Islamic Center, or Exeter Mosque, started from 15-year-old road. And this was in 1978. before 1978, there was no mosque in Exeter. And the university welcomed the students and the local community, the residents of Exeter, to observe the Friday prayer and the festival prayers in the university. But that was a long, long time ago, and I wasn't here. But Professor will elaborate on that. Now, from 1978 until 1995, the number of the Muslims increased. Both the students in the university and also the local residents of Exeter. I joined this community in 1982, and only about 80 people could be accommodated according to the regulations from the City Council of Exeter. But then in 1995, due to the lack of space and the need for more space to accommodate our activities in our community, the property number 14 suddenly for sale. And to cut it short, we bought number 14 York Road, and we tried to join the two buildings, number 14 and number 15, to have a mosque and then to build an extension in the back garden, which was a green land, and the council wasn't happy with it. But then this brown land came suddenly, because out of grace, for sale. And that was in 2000. And believe me, we didn't have money. We didn't have almost any money. We had to sell two properties. I have to mention the generous contribution, the generous support and kindness of His Highness, Dr. and Sheikh Sultan bin Muhammad al-Qasimi from Ashariqa. Without his support, without his help, we would never be able to build this mosque. So we bought this land from Devon County Council in 2000. And then an architect called Abdul Salam from London, he put the plan to the City Council, which was approved in the same year, 2000. But after that, brothers, as you all know, what happened after 2000? Very difficult events. 9/11, 7 July, the credit crunch, the recession, and now the debt that Europe is facing. All these difficulties we faced from 2000, and we couldn't start the building until 2008, when Sheikh al-Qasimi, the total cost of the building, about 1.7 million. And Sheikh al-Qasimi paid about £1 million to this project. But I have also to mention Dr. Hamad al-Majid, the former director of the Regent's Park Mosque. Dr. Ahmed al-Hudayfi, Munazzamat al-Bir, Yusuf Islam, Shabir Ahmad and his family, and many, many others who supported the cause for raising enough funds to build the mosque in this location. Brothers and sisters, I also have to mention the contractor, Dr. Yasir Salman. When we had the first meeting with him, we didn't have enough money to start the work. And he told us in the meeting that I have never started constructing a mosque, a place of worship, and I walked away because of lack of money. So I will be happy. You carry on raising the fund, I will carry on building the mosque. Until we had a watertight building, which we completed in 2009. Then we came to the second phase. He just carried on. So we want to thank Dr. Yasir for his generosity and his understanding. Also, I want to thank Brother Saad Faraj, who was the project manager for 3 or 4 years, liaising between the mosque, the board of trustees, the city council, and the contractors until the building is finished. So my thanks to him, and my thanks to everybody who is here today, and Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum. All the sisters contributed to this cause. All the Muslims in Exeter, young and old, men and women, contributed to this cause. So thanks to everybody who contributed. Thank you.
And needless to say that some of the trustees over here have been here from the very beginning of this project, and they have seen it right through. And their commitment throughout has been solid. And amongst them, the Imam has mentioned, but I will, has been with the Shaykh Hussain, who has been a constant pillar of support over here, despite the differences, difficulties that Board of Trustees have had, management have, community have had. I think a lot of credit goes to one individual as well, Shaykh Hussain. Welcome is, like the Imam mentioned earlier on, is the representative of His Royal Highness Dr. Sheikh Sultan bin Muhammad al-Qasimi, Professor Jamal al-Turaisi.
Thank you for inviting me today for the opening ceremony of Exeter Center. First of all, my warmest greeting to the Mayor of Exeter, Her Excellency Lord Mayor Ella Brock, and her respected husband. Sorry if I mispronounced the name, but Dr. Ahsanuddin Odu, General Secretary of OIC, Martin Gross, and Mr. Jannati, Professor Tim Niblock, and Imam Ahmed Saeed, Mr. Simon Wright, and Chief Constable Stephen Weather. Okay. On behalf, one more greeting as well to the committee center and the Muslims community and the people of Exeter. On behalf of United Arab Emirates government, on behalf also of His Highness Dr. Sheikh Sultan bin Muhammad al-Qasimi, the ruler of Sharjah, who sent his greetings to all of you this morning. I would like to congratulate you for opening the center today. The Muslim community in Exeter deserve a decent place for worship. One thing I would like to mention, that Exeter Center should open its doors today to people with open heart and open minds, as this center should be a means of peace, harmony, and respect to other beliefs as well. I want to talk a little bit about Sheikh Sultan al-Qasimi, ruler of Sharjah. I have been working with Sheikh Sultan for many years. He supports and give and donate and finance many different projects, humanitarian projects in the world, in Africa, East Europe, and in East Asia. projects for children, projects also for elderly people. So I consider myself lucky working with Sheikh Sultan because I was visiting many countries and also working with poor people and needy people gave me a meaning of this life. I'm trying also to teach this to my children to help other people and try to reach our hand to them. It's very important. Every time I come from Africa, I sit with my wife. Sometimes I get sick, maybe fever, maybe malaria, but I tell my wife, I'm very happy, and satisfied here because I mixed with poor people and needy people, and this, gave me a lot of satisfaction inside. So at last, let me not forget to thank the government of United Kingdom and the officials in Exeter city who granted the permission to build this center. I would like to thank the mayor for her support to this project. Also, I would like to thank the committee center who played the main role to complete this project. My thanking also extends to the contractor who was very patient with the payment. So I thank you again for inviting me in your lovely city, and I wish all the best for all of you. Thank you.
While we are here and we've got attention of our brother here, the committee of the Islamic Center would like to make some presentations, and if we could, using sources of Professor Jamal, make a couple of presentations. The first one is to Brother Saad Faraj for his contribution in making sure that this project is being done from beginning to completion. So Brother Saad Faraj. And also, like mentioned earlier on, for his unwavering support in making sure that this project from beginning to completion has been a success. I would also like to present this small token of our gratitude to the Shaheed al-Hassan. I would like to ask Brother Professor Ikmaluddin Isanullah to come and give a talk, please. This brother is the Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and also a founding trustee from long way back. So I would like to welcome Professor Ikmaluddin.
I'm greatly honored to address this opening ceremony at the new Mosque Islamic Center of the Southwest Region. This is a very special day where a dream has been fulfilled, realized, the need was addressed. This is a very special day where a dream has been realized. A need was addressed. arrived in 1975 as a young faculty member in the Department of Chemistry in Exeter Mosque. I can remember one day walking over the students' guild to meet others in the young and just finished my PhD. Meeting others and to learn more about the facilities available at the university. One of the first persons I met was a PhD student whom I thought was from Exeter, and sat down for a conversation. I asked him if there was a place to pray and hope that he could point me in the direction of the music. Well, I am a Hindu, he said. Let me take you over there and see some other Muslim students. Many of the students late Professor Shawar was a magnet to attract many of the students. And thanks to that magnet, he attracted a great personality like His Highness Sheikh Sultan Qasimi, who came to his first year, and then Exeter attracted His Highness all over the years, and as it attracted many others. To my surprise, I discovered that there was no dedicated place for prayer, despite there being many Muslims around. I came to know that since the 50s, many Muslim students used to come to this part of the world. Many Nigerians. That's what I was told. But there was no place. So I got together with Muslim students and encouraged them to start a society to organize plays and other activities for the benefit of students and others. This is where the student guilds and others helped, and they made use of the facilities which they were served by the university, but they didn't know about. Shortly thereafter, we were given a prayer room in the students' hall, and then started with parties. Our congregation quickly expanded from 20 to 40, and then to more than 60. So many of the members of the community asked us to do this. And for the prayer, we even had to go outside to find a large plot of land, large enough to hold huge amounts that moved all the way from Prince to the Colgate and across the river. From the next week, it became clear to me that Muslims need to establish a permanent place of worship for themselves. We wanted to share our traditions and spiritual practices with each other, but also reach out to our neighbors in the local community. I knew that for it to succeed required a partnership between the students and the local Muslim community. Until that day, the local Muslim community shopkeepers and remember Taj Mahal, Kari House, Kari Anhali, far away from the university. That was now, at the time, the Muslim community next to was small but growing. There were many shopkeepers, restaurant owners, and students at the university. But we worked together and decided to establish a committee for the Islamic Center for the South in Mr. Sharif Hassan, Mr. Muhammad Hassan, PhD student in economics, was the general secretary, and Mr. Mahmoud Abdullah of the Ganj restaurant was treasurer, just to name a few. And I was expecting the person to today. I invited him to be with us to share, and looks that his visa was a little bit I still have the copy of the minutes of the 31st meeting, which took place back in December 1976. I have to remember that we were helped by the city administration, the council, and we were helped with them to register and they encouraged us. So with that simple beginning, we we started to collect funds for the center. And I put the first 5 pounds, which counted to 17,000, and when we first bought the building in Exeter. Although I finished my training summer as a faculty member, in the summer of 1977, and one time I said I was pleased to visit up there the house in the trees and for visitors for the use of the first study center itself. Again, we found they understand the administration to help the community to use the idea for prayer and also. For the first time, the venue for Friday prayers and a focal point for local community has been found. Years later, almost 30 years later, about 2007, when I came to receive an honorary doctorate from the university, he was the kindly read the invitation. When I came to receive this honorary doctorate, Mr. Shahid Hassan and many others came to see me and say hello. And we came here to find this place as it was now managed with our imams. And the place was ready, but it was the need for an inspector to help build the mosque. I have asked them, His Highness, to help us. And to add one more contribution to Exeter, many contributions to give to the university. And he did not do the field as usual. He was general so we all in this place. And one as a first president and chief of this project, of this center, I really feel proud that I have a long association with this genuine man, a man of integrity, a man of goodwill, to help all of you, and in silence, in discretion, without making, even sometimes he asks not to be ignored, but even to be. So I really make very tribute and homage to this great contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, the Muslim community in Exeter, like the rest of Britain, has grown and prospered. Indeed, the achievements of Muslims in Britain are among the most notable in the world. Muslims have become successful businessmen, academics, and community leaders. They have run for public office and can be found both as members of the House of Commons and Lords and serving at the highest levels of government. In fact, during my last visit to UK a few months ago, I was a guest of a Muslim cabinet minister, and in my meetings with senior government officials, including the Prime Minister, it was clear that Muslim contributions to this country have been widely appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, as the world's second largest intergovernmental organization, OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, has been key to develop channels of communication with the world's leading countries and take part in the international fora where critical issues of global importance are discussed. The OIC has been an active partner with Britain and other countries to lead solutions to a number of crises facing the international community. In fact, it is now in development framework of dialogue and cooperation between OIC and the UK on areas such as development, assistance, science and technology, interface dialogue, and combating intolerance. The Muslim world is going through a defining moment in its history, which further affirms the dire need to speak up in the process of concretizing the people's aspiration to good governance, the rule of law, human rights, broader political constitution, and dedicated national value. Following those recent developments, we are looking forward to new beginnings in the spirit of peace, prosperity, and harmony. I believe that centers like this in Exeter can serve as a role model for community harmony and cohesion, both real and good, and is deserving our support. This new center represents the foundation of years of fundraising in difficult times and circumstances and from a variety of sources. The hard work and dedication of the people associated with this institution, since inception, and in particular, my dear friend Sheikh Hassan and his colleagues, members of the Islamic Society and Mosque Committee, is being truly commended. I would like also to thank the people of Exeter, the City Council, the local officials for their support. It is because of good community relations, the cooperation and philosophy of the spirit of the people of Exeter that have made the establishment of this center possible. I would like to once more reiterate my thanks to His Highness Dr. Sultan Muhammad al-Qasim of Sharjah for his generous donation to ensure the completion of this project. The new prayers, facilities, and cultural center will be of great benefit to the community across Exeter and Southwest. It is also a reminder of those of us who live outside the UK of the great benefits that the Muslims enjoy in these countries and of their achievements and prosperity. With the revelation of this new center, I wish you all even greater prosperity, peace, and harmony for many more years to come. I thank you for your kind attention, and I am grateful for the opportunity to share these thoughts with you. So, in association with that, with all these means, I have brought a copy of this poster, and I would like to present it to you.
Professor Kuruddin, for both your speech as well as your generous gift, inshallah, it will become a credit to the community in Exeter, and we look forward to seeing you more often here. It's very humbling to hear somebody who started off the project, and although that acorn was a long time ago, but by grace of Allah, it has produced a nice oak tree now, and a little more beneficial. I'd just like to remind brothers and sisters and all visitors that after our Salat al-Zohar, which will be after 2:15, Professor Kuruddin is giving a short talk on the organization that he runs, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and you're all welcome to attend that. The other small point I'd like to raise is that since this program started, many brothers and sisters and our guests have joined in. Once the lunch has been served, the rest of the mosque is open for viewing. All we like to do is to make sure please you observe, you take your shoes off, and then you go and have a good look around. I had the privilege of serving with this mosque from mid-90s till about 7 years ago. And during that time, I came across many people, and as like my brother Abdurrahman mentioned earlier on, we were struck by an incredible, unique tragedy, which was 9/11, followed by 7/7, and so on. And what it did to us was to actually realize what a community means. And within that community, we came to recognize our friends. And today's gathering is a testimony to that. We have people from all across the community, people from the NGOs, the charities, people from those who fought against the war, of course the local authority, the police, the county council, and so on. And particularly around that difficult time in September 2001, when we, the community, the Muslim community, felt very vulnerable, very frightened, extremely frightened. We had some nasty incidents. One thing that's worth remembering is how everybody over there came together and supported us. And I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those individuals and all those organizations from very small to very large. And in the spirit of that, and indeed, like the Imam mentioned earlier on, this place would have been impossible without the cooperation of the Exeter City Council and the Devon County Council. They have supported us all along, and we're very grateful for that. And following that tradition, we always had our Lord Mayors come along and talk to us, our Chief Constables come along and support us and give us the support we need in our difficult times. Today, at our time of celebration, I'd like to welcome the Lord Mayor, Councillor Stella Brock, to give a little talk. Thank you.
When I arrived earlier on, that I saw a lot of familiar faces, people that I've got to know with my husband we've known for over 35 years. In particular, Mr. Abdullah, who's over there, Mr. Hassan, and I believe Mr. Noor, who's standing over by the door. You're just a few of people that we've now regarded as friends. People who we got to know just after we moved to Exeter in 1970, because we hadn't lived in Exeter very long when we discovered your restaurants by your wonderful food. And again, it gave my husband the opportunity to talk about his passion for cricket. And I think many of our meals were very extended and drawn out. Because after we finished eating, there were long conversations, particularly I know with Mr. Moore, about cricket and the great mutual interest that my husband and many of you had in the game. So we appreciate that the road for the Muslim stronger together and focus on the positive, for good exists within all religions, cultures and communities. For the Muslim community in Exeter and surrounding area, you have indeed had a long but nonetheless successful journey from the very first centre that was established here in York Road in 1978. And so here we are, 30 years on and 11 years after planning permission was granted, standing in this wonderful new mosque and culture centre. It is indeed testament to your faith and dedication in seeing this project through to fruition. You know, various communities continue to work together in Exeter, and we are very proud of our record of cooperation and understanding. This was highlighted recently when we held the Peace Walk on September the 11th, starting here at the mosque and finishing at our city cathedral of St. Peter. The walk was supported by people from all walks of life and strengthens our resolve to work and live together, accepting and respecting each other, our different religions and cultures. I was reminded earlier that 6 years ago when I was the Deputy Lord Mayor, and then I was substituting for the Lord Mayor, I was invited to give a speech in the mosque, the theme being peace, tolerance and understanding. And those three words are still very relevant today in our thoughts and our actions. So on behalf of everyone who's been invited here today, I am delighted to be here and take part in and witness the official opening of your new mosque.
Lord Mayor, thank you very much for being with us today and encouraging us and supporting us. And I would also like to do, if you wouldn't mind, another little gift first to present to the representative of Dr. Sheikh Sultan bin Mohammed. So if you don't mind, please present this to Professor Jamal on behalf of the Islamic culture in Oxford and also all the community in Exeter. There's no doubt that without the gracious contribution of Sultan, this project would have struggled on, and he has made it possible, and we are all very grateful for that. And it's a very small token of our gratitude, and we'll be very grateful if you can pass it to His Highness, and we hope and pray that you can visit him one day. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we mentioned earlier on the close cooperation that this Islamic Center has enjoyed with various organizations. And just to add, for instance, over the years, we have welcomed lots of people from lots of backgrounds. We had English language classes over here, we had computer classes over here, we had community classes over here. And certainly when I was here, we welcomed a large number of Afghan refugees who came from Afghanistan back in the early part of the conflict in Afghanistan and then Iraq. We welcome many Eastern European brothers and sisters from Poland and around the Slav region. They had nowhere to meet. We welcome and they shared our platform over here in the facilities over here. We have spin-off programs where the Chinese community, which never had anywhere before, has actually now got a platform. They meet more or less weekly. Am I right over here? It's a partner every week, yeah? Every week. How many people come and attend that? 40 to 50 people who have nowhere else to go, but they come and form a community, which is part of the larger community under the umbrella of the Muslim community. So we are very grateful for other people in supporting us, and especially the churches in Exeter have been very helpful throughout the years. And I would like to welcome Mr. Martin Goss, who is the Director of Council of Church and Society, Diocese of Exeter, to give a short talk.
Thank you, Javier. Good afternoon, friends, Lord guests. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you all. I find it a pleasure and a privilege to be able to share a few words with you on this historic day. In my professional role, working with local faiths and belief traditions, I have enjoyed a growing friendship with the Islamic community and this centre over the last 29 years. And it is especially rewarding to see years of hard work and planning result in the opening of this mosque today. It is, for me, been both humbling and gratifying to share in the growth and development of our relationship in this time. I recall many moments of challenge, such as responding to racist incidents, celebrating Islamic art and culture, marking Eid and other festivals, cooperating after the Exeter bombing incident, planning and participating in the recent Exeter Peace Walk, and other times of shared action. So on behalf of the Diocese of Exeter, the Church of England in Devon, I would like to offer warm greetings to the Muslim community in the city and the county. Across the years we have stood together at public events, and now our buildings stand notably together on the public skyline. The Church of England promotes a process called presence and engagement to welcome and affirm the wider faith presence in Britain and to encourage broader and deeper opportunities for engaging together. This is also reflected in another programme entitled Face to Face and Side by Side, encouraging all Christian churches to participate in similar work. Today is an occasion which expresses this aspiration and hope. Across our common humanity, we are called to love and respect one another and to build friendships and bonds of trust. I am pleased and proud to be a small part of this ongoing tradition. So congratulations to you all on this positive achievement which so enriches the cultural diversity of Exeter. I look forward to working more closely together in the future. And I say thank you and bless you to all friends, Muslim brothers and sisters and others who will use this wonderful building in the years to come. Thank you. Unfortunately, the Bishop of Exeter, the Right Reverend Michael Langrish, is not able to be here today, but he has sent a message of support and goodwill which has been written by him, and can I invite my colleague Canon Andrew Constable from the Cathedral to come and to share that message with you all.
Very good to be with you personally and to bring this greeting from Bishop Michael. I'm very sorry that I'm not able to be present today for the opening of the Mosque and Islamic Centre. This is a landmark event in the history of the city. Multicultural tolerance and freedom of religious expression is a characteristic of civilization, a fact often missed by those who would seek to suppress the freedom which should be enjoyed by all religious faiths. I congratulate you on the opening of this centre and wish you well as you play your part in the dialogue of mutual understanding which is so important in the world at this present time. I am also aware of the good relationships which exist between the mosque and our church school next door. I know that the education which is offered at St Sidwell School is very much valued by many members of the Islamic community whose children are educated there, just as I am aware of the contribution which children and parents alike make to its success, and the contribution which the school in turn is able to make to local social cohesion. Although I'm unable to be with you today, I do very much hope that I will have the opportunity to visit you in the near future so that I can add my congratulations in person and see for myself your new building and hear at first hand of the work which you do. All good wishes, Bishop Michael Exeter.
Thank you for the contribution. We're rapidly moving towards the conclusion of our gathering today. And before we finish, we have just 2 or 3 more talks. And first amongst them is our Imam Muhammad Abdullah. If I can ask Brother Abdullah to come along and please do.
Thank you very much for being patient. First of all, I would like to welcome our guests, His Excellency Professor Jamal Quraibi, the representative of Mullah Sharjah Sheikh Qasimi, His Excellency Professor Abdul Sanogo, Professor Tim Lovelock, Lord Mayor of Exeter, and also the Chief Constable, and all our brothers and sisters and our honorables. I think Imam has already mentioned and also Professor Sanogo also mentioned about the history of the Islamic Center. I thought I would just go through a few slides to take you through the journey which we have seen. This is the number 15 year where we started. In 1976, the Islamic Center was registered as a charity, and you can see Professor Sanogo here giving a talk. Obviously, he had to come all the way from Turkey when the charity was registered and the center was opened. The planning was approved by the City Council in 2000. However, the work could not start because of the lack of funds. We are very grateful that we received £1 million or so from His Highness Sheikh Al-Qasimi. The work started, the old buildings were demolished, and you can see that the structure started coming up. I still remember the children when they used to come, they used to get very much excited. Obviously, the structure itself did not take that much time, but all the work which came afterwards took time. You can see the minaret coming up. The workers have been very much excellent. We also had very much support from the City Council, the Chief Executive of the City Council, and also the leader of the Devon County Council. These are some of the activities which we do in the mosque. Obviously, it's a place of worship, place of learning, and also place for gathering. You can see the people sharing stuff, sharing food. Obviously, the building is very old. You can see the cracks in the wall. Lord Mayor mentioned about the reunion. It was the reunion in 2005, and we also had a very wonderful day, Saudi Cultural Day, where the Lord Mayor of that time came and opened. One of the important things which we also do is work with the schools, so that we can raise awareness about Islam and about Muslims, about culture, about religion, history, faith, and philosophy. This is something which we enjoy hundreds of letters of support and of feedback and of gratitude from many, many schools. Obviously, a person who is the head of the religion and philosophy in King's School and many other schools, they have also supported us. One of the things I have always enjoyed whenever I had a visit from the school is the questions. They always have questions. And obviously these questions are a little bit different from the questions Muslim children will ask. Because almost all the questions they started with why. Why do we have to pray 5 times a day? Why do Muslim women have to wear hijab? Why can't you eat this? Why can't you behave this way? Some of the questions were very simple, some of the questions were very challenging, but some of them were also very innocent questions. I remember still a question when one of the schools visited, there was this girl and she was very, very focused. I gave a talk about the importance of the prayer in Islam, and I mentioned that every Muslim has to pray 5 times a day, and I mentioned that Prophet Muhammad said that prayer is the pillar of religion. So she was very, very concerned. I asked her, do you have a question to ask? Do you want to say something? Do you want to make a comment? She said, I just wondered, what if you miss a prayer by mistake? Would the police come and catch you?
I think it concludes this talk very well by indicating that the spirit of Islam is in a very cooperative way. It's not oppressive. It may sound, may give image of that, but it's a very generous one. And we've seen that for many, many years over here. Like I said earlier on, we have included people from many, many faiths to come along and share and join with us. And it's my personal hope and my wish and my prayer that young people who are over here, those who are going to be custodians and managers and worshippers of this place, bear that in mind, to bring the communities in together and make sure this doesn't just remain a place of worship, but this remains a cultural hub where we can welcome people from all backgrounds, irrespective of their religion or whatever, and we can actually make a society which is fitting for this wonderful city, etc. And looking ahead, looking to the future, I'd like to welcome Abdurrahman Saeed to give this talk. Again, looking at the perspective of the youth and what they expect from the next years to come.
I grew up seeing. First of all, my teachers from high school. Mr. Mike Porter, another teacher from high school. Very surprising to see you here. Thank you for coming. I've been asked to talk on behalf of the youth, and I think, honestly, I can't really give a view that will, as I say, fair represent everyone. But what I can do is try to give you some examples from my life and some of the lessons I've learned, and some of the things that have affected the person I've become. I've gained those from growing up here, growing up right here in Exeter. So, my story begins in 1984. I was born in Exeter, so this is my hometown. I lived in a house which was about 100 meters from here, number 15. The first 6 years were spent there. And I remember growing up, or coming every day in my early years, and I was just in an environment where people shared food, where people shared jokes, kids played together, and we all visited one another. And it was kind of an ideal, or kind of surreal kind of upbringing. It was really like, when I look back on it now, I just think, wow, I feel unique. So, growing up here, and then moving on to other cities in terms of pursuing education and jobs elsewhere, I noticed really that while I lived in Exeter, I didn't really value it that much, but when I left, that's when I realized some of the positives or some of the characteristics of this place which really made it unique. So I want to keep it brief because I know lunch is soon, so just highlight the main points. And the main thing is, if you look at the back row of this room, you see a wide array of Muslims of all colours, of all from different countries. And the unique characteristic of this mosque or this Islamic centre is the diversity of the people that come to visit. And some of the other mosques I've visited, or some of the Islamic centres I've visited, have sadly had a bit too much cultural baggage attached to it, whereas our mosque doesn't have that. And really, all of us, we know our origin, and we don't deny it, and we use it as a positive, whereas in some places they use it for something divisive. Secondly, we have a feeling of like an extended family right here, because, for example, of myself, I didn't grow up with cousins, aunties, uncles, grandparents. They live thousands of miles away. So to fill that void, I had many people right in this room who stepped in, who, for example, when my mother was unwell, would bring food, and we got no end amount of food on our doorstep. All times, spicy food, Arab food, everything you can think of. And we even had to tell people, please don't bring food. All of these things did add up to make a unique family feeling, or a unique community feeling. And people will say I'm biased because I grew up with this from day one, but I'm talking to people that I know who came here for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to study, and who left, they still say the same thing. They say, I really miss Exeter, I really miss the people there. And throughout my travels in the United Kingdom or wherever, every mosque is a welcome sanctuary, but this place really, I feel, is the most special. So another point I'd like to highlight, maybe for people that are the new youth, because I consider myself no longer new youth, that young. But Exeter is changing. So this mosque, or this new centre, with thanks to the generosity of Sultan and the other people who helped establish it, it's come at the right time. We have a confidence symbol in the heart of the city to show that the Muslims are here and they're contributing. And when I was young, we were not. We didn't really have that. And Exeter really is changing. I remember as a kid growing up, I'd walk down the street and I would feel unique. I would feel like I was the only black guy or the only Muslim guy. And nowadays I walk around and I'm just shocked. You see all races, all faces. And the kids of today are growing up somewhere different to the place I grew up. I remember someone told me, you know, go back to Pakistan, and I was like, okay. So, yeah, we were unique, as in we were, you know, one of few. And nowadays, all thanks to God, the community has grown, and people have come in, not just Muslims, but immigrants from all over the world. So my hope for the future is for the kids to establish the bonds among themselves that we did, to develop the firm foundations that we did, so that when we went to other cities, we maintained our connection to this place, and also our connections with our friends. And also to realize that, like me, I developed my worldview from these streets here, from Sybil Street, York Road, the High Street. This is how I saw the world. And it was first and foremost that as a Muslim, as an inhabitant of Exeter, as a black man, and all the kind of different facets which make me the person that I am. And I think that made me stronger than a lot of people I've met, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Rahman, for your kind words. Finally, I'd like to ask Nafisa of Tullah to come along and say a few words, and after that, Rabin, we should have some lunch will be served here. We've got enough volunteers in fact to serve us.
This city of ours, Exeter, has had a long history of involvement in multicultural and increasingly global community. It has been adapted and shaped over the centuries by the myriad of cultures and people that have lived within its walls. It began life as a Roman town, when in the 2nd century an encompassing wall was built that still stands today. Within these walls, the invading Saxons in the 7th century left behind a monastery and many churches. It wasn't until the 14th century that the Normans finally completed the construction of the iconic Exeter Cathedral. Even the flourishing Jewish community gathered together in the heart of this city to contribute their mark, a synagogue, in the 18th century. The Muslims, settling mostly in the 1960s, come in a long line of successors to the diverse heritage of the city of Exeter. It is only natural and fitting, therefore, that they too can make this city their home and share with everyone their unique sense of identity and belonging. Hence why you are all gathered here today to mark the grand opening of Exeter Mosque, an addition that is helping shape our city into what is now a thriving cultural centre. We all live in an interdependent city. We are all connected, and together we are bringing Exeter forward into the 21st century, making it an increasingly diverse yet inclusive place to live. My name is Nafisa Abdullah. I was born in Exeter in 1986. If I dig deep into my treasure chest of memories, it's ripe with my personal stories of the mosque, my home away from home. I've adopted as my own many uncles and aunties and brothers and sisters now that I've absolutely lost count. Most importantly, because of this, I am now privileged to have this intensely strong support system and a backbone I can always rely on. It may be hard for some of you to imagine, but everything we did revolved around this mosque. The mosque was a wholesome and peaceful environment, a focal point for a growing community. It was where we gathered to celebrate our births, deaths, marriages, and other ceremonies. It was our source of entertainment. Many a time I remember fighting over the table tennis in the basement, I'm sure you guys will too, playing football with my cousins in the overgrown gardens, and playing blindman's bluff in the empty prayer rooms after Sunday classes. I have such wonderful memories of Ramadan. During dinner time, when all the young children would line the stairs, sitting with our plates on our laps and on our knees, and our glasses filled to the brim with Coca-Cola. Another unforgettable memory is the excitement of the Eid festival, wearing our newest clothes, awaking early, and seeing the mosque prayer rooms overflowing with Muslims dressed in their finest. The best part, though, was receiving the goodie bags full of sweet delights. Even at the ripe age of 25, I still look forward to it. Indeed, much of the appreciation and love I have for this city is in many ways thanks to this mosque and the people within it, because they have taught me the importance of social cohesion. This mosque has opened my eyes to what and who is around me. It has taught me to build relationships with all people, no matter their ethnicity or faith. In essence, how to show them respect and compassion. Without a shadow of a doubt, one of the primary functions of our mosque has been as a centre of learning for men, women, adults and children. In Islam, a strong emphasis is placed on mainstream, wholesome education and the pursuit of knowledge. The very first revelation of the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق, which means read, recite, and proclaim in the name of thy Lord. This was our very first instruction, and it was to open our minds and to educate our societies. Far surpassing his role as a teacher, however, Imam Saeed has been like a father to me, a role model and a friend. It is through him and my parents and other respected community members that I've learnt the value of education. I look up to Imam Saeed, my mum and dad, and all of these role models, and thank them for always being a positive driving force in my life. Such inspirational figures have a long tradition in the history of Islam. Let me give you an example of Khadija, peace be upon her, the beloved wife of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the mother of his children. In fact, she was the very first person to embrace the Prophet's call to the worship of one God. Khadija was well known for her nobility, her impeccable character, and enjoyed unparalleled success as a businesswoman and merchant in Mecca. She is a part of my Islamic heritage, and she is my role model. Many of the ladies in Exeter are inspired by her. To emulate her as an example of a strong, confident and respectful woman openly engaged in society. We are fortunate in this because we have the mosque, which is our platform. Here we are seen, we are heard, and we have a voice. Our sisterhood here enjoys equal rights and thoroughly appreciates and makes the most of the facilities available to us. Compared to other mosques around the country, we are actively participating, leading to our own dedicated prayer area, regular classes, gym sessions, swimming classes, sewing and computer classes for those less active, not naming any names, collective iftars and Eid parties, you name it, and we'll make it. As a young Muslim woman in Exeter, we're not in the business of passively receiving handouts. We have been empowered through education and our inspirational role models to help us make our own place in society, be it inside or outside of the mosque, as a part of an increasingly integrated community and hopefully as a leading example to other such communities around the world and the country. To conclude, there is a much shared culture right here in the city of Exeter, and it is something that all of us should feel proud of and part of. So I invite you all here today, whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim, to look upon this beautiful new mosque as if it is your own, and I can only hope it creates as many memories and sweet experiences for you as it has done so for me. Thank you.
Meeting today. Brothers and sisters, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming today. It's been a wonderful day over here, an auspicious day for us, a very important and very challenging and an amazing opportunity for the young people who are going to take over the mantle of running this place and helping to build this society. So thank you for everyone for coming today, contributing, and especially all our guests who have come from further people from Turkey, from Emirates and so on. Finally, just hand over to you. For your convenience, the bathrooms are just on the left-hand side, if anybody wants to use them. Obviously, you can go all around. There are doors on the side as well. Upstairs is open. If you want to go, please do go around. There are shoe cases where you can leave your shoes. But we will be served fairly shortly. And after prayers, Salatul prayers, as mentioned earlier on, Professor will be giving a show. So those who want to stay behind, please do stay behind. Thank you so much for coming along. Enjoy your day, and God bless you.
تفضل. الحمد لله الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات. صلى الله عليه وسلم ان يجعل هذا المكان مكان مبارك ويجعل مكان يشع منه نور الاسلام في ربوع هذه البلد. بارك الله فيك سيد شعبان.
عبد اللطيف.
كلمه
متاعك.
اقول الحمد الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. بعد شكر الله عز وجل أشكر كل من تبرع لهذا المسجد، له هو حقيقة الجندي الخفي أو الخلف الذي بذل كثير سواء بالجهد أو بالمال، ولعله لم يذكر لكنه بإذن الله هو مذكور ولا شك عند الله عز وجل.